Welcome back to G-Man-P, the Great TV. If you tuned in, hit a like, share, and subscribe. If not, we ain't doing no tripping. What we talking about today is terrorism. What the definition is, the current threats, and how you can protect yourself. Let's get to it. Terrorism. Protecting the United States from terrorist attacks is the FBI's #1 priority. The Bureau works closely with its partners to neutralize terrorism cells and operatives here in the United States to help dismantle extremist networks worldwide and to cut off financing and other forms of support provided to foreign terrorist organizations. Now, the definition of terrorism. International terrorism, violent criminal acts committed by individuals and or groups who are inspired by or associated with design foreign terrorist organization or nations state sponsored. Domestic terrorism, violent criminal acts committed by individuals and or groups to further ideological goals stemming from domestic influences, such as those of a political, religious, social, racial, or environmental nature. The current threats. The FBI committed to remain agile in its approach to the terrorism threat, which has continued to evolve since the September 11, 2001 terror attacks. Years after these attacks, the threats landscape has expanded considerably, and international terrorism remains a serious threat. The threat of domestic terrorism also remains persistent overall, with actors crossing line from exercising First Amendment protected rights to committing crimes in furtherance of violent agendas. Many factors have contributed to the evolution of the terrorism threat on both the international and domestic front, such as lone offenders. Terrorist threats have evolved from large group conspires towards lone offenders attacks. These individuals often radicalize online and mobilize to violence quickly. Without a close group affiliation or guidance, lone offenders are challenging to identify, investigate, and disrupt. The FBI relies on partnerships and tips from the public to identify and thwart those attacks. The internet and social media. International and domestic violent extremists have developed an extensive presence on the internet through messaging platforms and online images, videos, and publications. These facilitate the group's ability to radicalize and recruit individuals who are receptive to extremist messaging. Social media has also allowed both international and domestic terrorists to gain unprecedented virtual access to people living in the United States in an effort to enable homeland attacks. The Islamic State of Iraq and Asham, ISIS in particular, encouraged sympathizers to carry out simple attacks wherever they are located or to travel to ISIS held territory in Iraq and Syria and join its ranks as foreign fighters. This message has resonated with supporters in the United States and abroad. How citizens can protect themselves and report suspicious activity. It is important for people to protect themselves both online and in person, and to report any suspicious activity they encounter. The simplest way to accomplish this are to remain aware of your surroundings, refrain from oversharing personal information, say something if you see something. The insular nature of today's violent extremists make them difficult for law enforcement to identify and disrupt before an attack. Many times, a person's family or friends may be the first to notice a concerning change in behavior that may indicate a person is mobilizing to violence. So them is the three things that we was touching on: is what terrorism is, and the definition, the threats, and how to protect yourself. So to everybody that was tuned in to G-Man P, the Great TV, I appreciate it. To the ones that ain't, we ain't doing no tripping. Peace.